What's good, y'all? You niggas already know who I am. We back with another Mr.Ballen video. Get this intro short. Let's get into it.
If you haven't heard about what happened at the Gay Pride Parade in the Netherlands, it's likely because you haven't seen the infamous security footage that's currently going viral on Reddit and other places on the internet.
I have
Today,
not.
I'm going to show you portions of that security footage and tell you the story about what's really happening so you have context and can really appreciate what you're seeing. But before we get into that story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So, if that's of interest to you, please swap out all of the Pop-Tarts in the like button's pantry for the unfrosted.
Yes, definitely check
also,
out
please
Mr.
subscribe to
Beast.
our
That
channel and
man
turn
is
on all notifications
Whoa.
so you don't
I'm sorry, Mr. Ballen. This because he makes good videos. They're very
miss
interesting.
any of our weekly uploads. Okay, let's get into today's story.
What's the first one you got for me? Pride Amsterdam.
On September 27th, 2018, in a little city in the Netherlands, a security camera captured 6 men walking calmly toward this brick bungalow inside one of the country's holiday parks. A holiday park is a place that offers cheap accommodations to tourists. They typically have things like campsites, RV parking, cheap bungalows for rent, and they also often offer things like swimming and golfing and bowling, so it's kind of like an all-in-one for families on vacation. But on this September day, these 6 men caught on camera were neither family nor on vacation. Instead, as they walked, it was very clear from their body language that the only thing they were interested in was getting inside of their holiday bungalow. Once they did reach the front door of this bungalow, the apparent leader of the group, who had dark brown hair and a full beard, he pulled out a key, unlocked the door, he opened it up, and then he made sure the rest of the men took off their shoes before walking inside.
Okay.
And then once all the men were inside the door, the leader shut the door and locked it behind them, and then barefoot they walked through the hallway into this corner living room in the back of the bungalow. And in this room there was this L-shaped couch that was centered on a coffee table and a couple of chairs scattered throughout the rest of the room. And so the 6 men kind of took up seats in these different places, and then after they were all sitting down, 2 of the men who had been seen walking into the bungalow carrying backpacks and duffel bags, they pulled those bags out and set them on the coffee table.
Don't tell me these are guns.
The other 4 men who had been chatting amongst themselves went completely silent and turned and just faced the bags on the table. It was very clear that whatever was in the bags was very significant. So significant, in fact, that the group had pulled most of the curtains across all of the windows inside of this bungalow to make sure no one outside could look in and potentially see the contents of these bags. And once the 2 men unzipped the duffel...
Okay. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna lie. The topic of this first video was Pride Amsterdam. So when he said they were going to the very back, I thought this something were about to get bent over and start getting clapped. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Bags and backpack and began putting the contents of the bags onto the table.
I have no idea what's happening.
Clear why the men were so on edge. Inside of these bags were guns, and in the Netherlands, no private citizen is allowed to possess them. Over the next hour, the 2 men who had actually carried the guns into the bungalow, they began going over some instruction with the other 4
first
men
theory
how
completely
to use
left.
these slick black pistols and AK-47 rifles. They
God,
taught them how to
nigga,
load the
where'd you
guns
get
and reload and how to aim, and they did a number of dry firing exercises, which is basically pulling the trigger on any real gun when the gun is not loaded. And so these 4 students paid careful attention to their instructors.
You niggas is students, bro? Y'all threw your whole life away. Cause y'all don't like, I don't know if it's true, but y'all don't like gay people? That's why you shot at Pride Amsterdam in the parade? What's wrong with people today? Like even back then, in the 90s, 80s, like, you don't like someone that much? I'm gonna throw my life away by taking theirs. That's wild.
And at some point, they became more confident, and you could just see the excitement was building in the room. At one point, one of the students grabbed two of the AK-47 rifles and held one in each arm
Nasty.
and pretended to fire them simultaneously, like you would see in the Rambo movies.
You are not
But
him,
when
sir.
one of the two instructors
At
reached
all.
back into one of these bags and pulled out a new item, a vest, and laid it on the coffee table, immediately the mood in the room shifted again. Now the students seemed more nervous than excited. One of the four students eventually walked forward and somewhat reluctantly extended his arm to allow the instructor to slip the vest onto him. And then once the vest was put on the student, you can see in the camera footage there are pockets all over this vest with little wires poking out of them. This vest was a suicide vest, and the pockets contained explosives.
Oh,
As one of the instructors
my God.
showed the student in the vest which cord to pull in order to detonate himself, you can hear in the background someone saying, "When the police come, you can take them with you." A little over 2 hours later, these 6 men were done, and they began.
So you telling me you telling me, right? Y'all don't care about taking the life of somebody who's LGBT, but the moment police come, start shooting you, even with that bum vest on, y'all guy, you get scared. Oh, I don't want to throw my life. Well, you already did. You might as well let them shoot you. You threw your life away. It's gone. You do the right thing, bro. You ain't got to kill nobody else. Y'all are cowards. Crazy.
Packing up their arsenal of new weapons back into the bags, and then they stood up to leave. But when they left, it was the students who had the bags of weapons, not the two instructors. Once the 6 men had left the bungalow and were back outside again, they put their shoes back on, they locked the bungalow behind them, and then the 2 instructors were seen on camera walking away from the bungalow to a separate car. They drove off, and then the 4 men that now had the weapons, they walked to a nearby white cargo van, which contained one other man who had not been inside of the bungalow with them, but he was very much a part of this group. He was their driver. And so as the 4 men with guns approached the white van, the driver saw them, he climbed out, he ran around to the back and opened up the back doors that led into the windowless back cargo area of the van.
Oh my
and the 4 men with
God.
guns, they climbed inside, the driver shut the van, climbed back into the driver's seat, and then before long, the driver was leaving the parking lot and heading north towards the city of Amsterdam, which is the capital of the Netherlands. Every year, Amsterdam plays host to one of the largest gay pride parades and events in the world.
Oh my
The location
God.
is significant to the LGBTQ community because it was here in 2001 that the first gay marriage bill was signed into law.
Y'all
making
niggas
the
about to
Netherlands
shoot
the
up
first
some
country in the
people
world
because
to legalize
they
gay
like the
marriage.
same
So,
sex.
for 1 week
Oh
a
my
year,
God.
hundreds of thousands of people pour out onto the streets and line the canals of Amsterdam, all drawn together to affirm gay rights and to celebrate their sexual expression, preference, and identity. And the men in the white windowless van intended to use their new weapons and training to kill or maim as many parade goers as possible. They
Bunch
were
of
hopeful that
goofies,
their terrorist
bro.
attack would rival or even eclipse the attack from 2015 in Paris in a nightclub that killed or injured more than 500 people and sent shockwaves through Europe. 30 minutes later, the 4 men in the back of this windowless van felt the van slow down and pull off the main road and not come to a complete stop, but just kind of begin to slow roll, which was odd because they had no reason to slow down and they were at least 30 minutes away from their destination. And so instinctively, the men reach down and make sure their guns are safely stowed inside of their bags and out of sight in case somebody opens the back door. They don't want people to know they have guns. They are illegal. And so as the van continued to go painfully slowly for really no reason that was clear, the men in the back of the van were really starting to worry that something was wrong. Now remember, they have no windows. They can't look outside. They don't know what's going on. However, there was a small crack in the partition that separated the back of the van from the front of the van where the driver was. And so the men in the back of the van began craning their necks and looking through this little crack to try to see if they could understand what was in front of the van,
Okay.
and why the driver had stopped. And when these men looked through that little crack and they saw what was out there, they immediately began to panic. They began reaching down and fumbling for their bags, trying to open them up to get their guns, and then by the time they're kind of getting the guns into their hands, all the doors on the van fly open, and the men in the back just begin firing their guns blindly at the open doors. But when they pull their triggers, nothing happens, because their guns were fake. They had been sold to them by the people who were flinging open their doors, the police in tactical gear with their dogs.
This is perfect. Oh, these niggas got played, bro. I really thought I was gonna be real sad about what's wrong with niggas today, but this right here done lifted your boy's spirits up. Seeing 4 niggas get played so that everybody at the pride parade, is safe, and 4 goofy niggas finna get sent to jail. I mean, to prison. Thank you.
And they knew
Thank you, police, for doing some good.
these guys had fake guns. They knew their suicide vests
Bum-ass
were fake.
niggas.
They were full of fake explosives. They have nothing lethal inside.
Oh, they was on them.
They just throw the doors open and send in the
Yes,
dogs.
sir. Yes,
And so the
sir.
dogs, they jump into this
Beat
van,
'em.
and these
Beat 'em.
terrorists are screaming, and they're firing their fake guns at the dogs as the dogs are shredding these terrorists to bits. And then whenever they tried to jump out, the police would just pistol whip the terrorists.
Yes,
until
sir.
finally all of these wannabe terrorists were in the fetal position crying, or they were crouched down with their hands over their head. It would turn out the 2 instructors who had brought the duffel bags of guns into the bungalow with the other men.
That's how it's
they
done.
Were not other fellow terrorists. They were undercover police officers who were a part of the special national.
That's how it's. We got a nigga. Oh, you hate to see it, but that's how it's done, police. This is how you do it, bro. Stopping shootouts like this. Oh my god. W police.
Anti-terrorism team who were able to infiltrate this terrorist cell. These undercover cops were the ones who sold the fake guns and fake explosives to the terrorists, and they were the ones who set up this meeting at the bungalow, which allowed them to place cameras and listening devices all over the place. Plus, they were also able to bug the white van because they knew they would be departing the bungalow inside of it. So, all the wannabe terrorists that you saw on camera, plus 2 others that were not seen on camera but were totally involved, were all sentenced on October 8th, 2020 to anywhere from 10 to 17 years in prison. Meanwhile, the Amsterdam Pride Parade went off without a hitch.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Bum ass niggas. Oh, come on, bro. So y'all are dumb enough to fall for police, what's it called, to buy these bootleg guns, because you hate people, that you hate LGBTQ people that bad that you want to shoot them, scared that you might get shot, and you still got sold fake guns, you got beat, and you start crying because you got caught knowing your life is over.
So that's going to do it. If you got something out of this episode,
also,
and you haven't done this,
I really thought there was like more. I just realized only 11 minutes long. I thought there was more like stories, so I'll probably upload some more reaction videos later. But that's what we like to see. Well, I'm tired of hearing garbage on the news that someone's shooting up people. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Your boy is tired, and he's finna get some food later, and I'll see y'all.